Native applications are applications that run directly on the device, written with a programming language targeting a particular platform. They range from Objective-C, which is what you use to code for iOS, or Java and the Android SDK, if you're targeting the Android devices. Applications that need the features of the phone, such as the accelerometer or the gyroscope, the pure technology of the phone, or advanced graphics, for example, graphic processing, needs to be written at this time in native code. So, for example, something like Angry Birds, you would write in native code. The problem with native code is it's specific to a particular platform, and no single platform has enough of the market that if you're developing mobile strategy, you can say, well, I only need to develop an iPhone. This problem is called fragmentation, that you have to develop different versions of your application for different platforms and then continue to maintain them. Fragmentation is one of the biggest challenges facing the mobile industry today. The solution to that seems to be growing is mobile web development. Now, mobile web development does not necessarily mean that your application has to live on a server. Through tools such as PhoneGap and Sencha, you are able to use web technologies, HTML or HTML5, JavaScript, CSS, to actually create applications that will work across multiple platforms. A lot of the biggest names in mobile, such as Foursquare and Facebook and LinkedIn, have taken this route because they realize it's much easier and cheaper to maintain a single set of code than code across different platforms. And you always have new platforms emerging. Windows Phone 7, for example, is growing in Europe. So if you were doing a native app, who knows what apps you're going to have to develop, platforms you're going to have to develop for next. HTML5, as long as the phones are HTML5 compatible, you're able to create web applications. HTML5 is the biggest component of this. Apple supports it, Google supports it, Microsoft supports it, Nokia supports it, and Research in Motion, who makes BlackBerry, supports it. Those are your major phone providers. The fact that they support it means that you have pretty much the majority of the market. Some of the tools are PhoneGap, which allows you to wrap your HTML code in a native shell so you can have access to some of those features that previously you only could access through native code. jQuery is a JavaScript framework that allows you to simulate some of the behaviors of a native application in a HTML5 based application. And Sencha is actually a set of libraries that you would write in JavaScript that allow you to simulate a native application, but not actually writing a native code. Right now, PhoneGap, jQuery, and HTML5 seem to be the biggest tools used. The most recent version of Adobe Dreamweaver 5.5 actually includes both PhoneGap and jQuery as plugins and will actually allow you to create native apps directly from Dreamweaver.